Hey guys, this is Ray with PhoneArena doing a video review of the LG Prada 3.0, which is the third installment in the fashion-centric series of LG made in tight partnership with Prada. Unlike previous handsets of that same line, the Prada 3 is much bigger, it has a very large display, it has a dual-core processor, so it's very different. And what's probably most notable here is that it is a smartphone for the first time. It runs on the Android 2.3 Gingerbread operating system. But before we dive in and take a look at what kinds of customizations have been made by LG with regards to the software of the phone, let's first take a look at its design, because it's probably the most important aspect of this handset. And right from the start we notice it's a very large 4.3-inch capacitive touchscreen. It's very big, but unfortunately it is of the TFT type, which is lacking in comparison with what some of the other contemporary smartphones use, like IPS LCD on the iPhone 4S or the AMOLED-based displays or the Super AMOLED technology that is found on the Galaxy S2, for example. And what those newer technologies do for us is to essentially ensure that we get better contrast levels and better color saturation and overall representation. And as you can see, this old TFT panel that we have here, for example, is a very weak performer when it comes to colors. Okay, we're just joking here. The display does support colors. This is just a preloaded theme here, and we'll get to that a bit later. So overall, the display, even though if it's a TFT display, it still does deliver some passable viewing angles, and overall color representation is quite natural. And probably the second thing that you notice with this handset here is that it's extremely thin. It's very thin phone, and it's also perfectly rectangular. So this is the type of design that LG and Prada hope will deliver that specific Prada look for the loyal fan base of the company. On the top side we find almost all of the keys and switches here. We have the 3.5mm headset jack, this micro USB port which is hidden underneath this very cool sliding cover, and the power lock key, which is the only key on the handset that does not feature a proper clicky feel to it. And you're probably wondering what this button here does. It is the front-facing cam key, and what it does is to launch the front-facing cam. Yeah, probably you're not used to having such a button on your phone, but for some reason Prada and LG decided that you might enjoy it. Finally, on the left side of the handset we have these two volume up and down keys, which function brilliantly. Our biggest gripe with the design of this handset is its backside, which is entirely made of plastic, which is somewhat unusual for a Prada branded product, you know. And what Prada and LG are basically advertising is to say that the back is very leather-like. It's like a leather with this typical Saffiano leather texture on it, but you know, it's just plastic for us, and a pretty cheap feeling one for that matter. You see, it's a very thin piece of plastic. On the whole, very Galaxy S2-like design, if you ask us. And let's open the handset once more, because I gotta show you the micro SD card slot and the SIM card slot of the device, which are found here, along with this 1540 mAh battery. As a whole, we do think that the handset is very stylish, especially with its perfectly rectangular shape, its extremely thin profile, and this very overly simplistic interface of it. So it is stylish, but we don't really consider this a fashionable product, because mainly because of this cheap plastic casing that it employs. In contrast to previous product handsets by LG, this time around we have a smartphone because the handset is running Android 2.3 Gingerbread. However, as you can see, the UI itself is highly customized because we have these overly simplistic, just white icons, which are the dark parts of which are transparent, so you can see your wallpaper through them. So these are very simple white icons. For example, let's check out the main menu where we have all of the core applications customized in this theme. Now, it's a very good thing that all the Google services are separated here in this separate section of the main menu. As you can see, the Google services are unchanged from their original icons, but it just helps. This kind of separation helps to keep things nicely organized and uniform among the different parts of the UI, which is very important for such a fashionable phone. Not only the icons, but even some widgets are customized in this very way so that you can keep all of your interface very uniform throughout the handset. So regardless if you like it or not, this is the only theme that you can find on the handset, and it only comes with a few scenes which are just different home screen setups designed for different purposes, like play, like work. Obviously this scene here will place some appropriate stuff like your calendar or shortcut to your email or your shortcut to the alarm clock application right on your home screen where you need it most. The on-screen QWERTY keyboard, it's very convenient, it's very good because of the 4.3-inch screen, and you can see it takes all the space from the left to the right edge here. So it takes advantage of the big screen. The landscape QWERTY keyboard, even better, very convenient when you use it with two hands, and very appropriate for speed typers. As a whole, LG has done a very good job at customizing the interface. They have touched almost everything from the font to the icons, widgets, and have even added some wallpaper options like this wallpaper we've set up here, which is again this Saffiano-like texture that we talked about previously. So the handset really is accomplished in this whole spirit of Prada, both from the exterior and from interior, so to speak, with the interface that is highly customized. What's better is that the innards of the device are very powerful. It has a dual-core processor, and it also has 1 GB of RAM. And as it is evident from our demo here, the interface is very smooth. You see, there's almost no stuttering or any kind of lag going with it. It's very fluid. Let us check out the browser. It's probably the stock Android browser from the inside, but on the outside it has also been tweaked by LG. You can see the graphical elements here. With a single tap of this key you get to your open windows, and as a whole the application performs very well, especially when there's not much flash content. And yes, this means that the Prada 3 supports flash player, so you won't miss a single thing on the web. There is support for multi-touch zooming, and what's even better is that there is pan while multi-touch zooming, so it's very easy to navigate around more complex web pages like ours. Scrolling is very smooth, and there is also double tap zooming, which is pretty good indeed. So the LG Prada 3, it's safe to say that it's a very good internet communicator. The LG Prada 3 has an 8 megapixel camera with an LED flash, and it also records 1080p video. Let's check out the interface of the camera. It's a very intuitive one. All of your settings are placed right here, and with a single touch on this key here, we open the advanced settings. It's just a nice and simple list of options here that you can tweak any way you like. You can change the ISO, the white balance, you can set up a timer, anything you like. This is the flash setting, and so on and so on. But overall, outdoor images turn out somewhat okay. You know, their details are there. It's not 8 megapixel details, but it's at least 5 megapixels. It's safe to say real 5 megapixels of details. So the images do look pretty sharp. Unfortunately, this has come with a bit of noise, mostly noticeable in the sky. And the colors are nicely balanced, although a bit on the colder side, which is typical for LG's cameras. You know, unfortunately, when you take things indoors and start taking shots, the situation gets much worse. There's a lot of noise, a lot of blurring, and overall, the only good thing that can be said about the indoor shots is that the LED flash is capable of illuminating a nice scene, so the flash is powerful enough, but the quality is very, very poor. And when it comes to the 1080p video, the Prada 3 is a mediocre performer. The detail quality is not quite there. It's not a real 1080p video. It looks much worse than what you would get with a normal 1080p camera or a camcorder. And the colors, well, the situation with the colors is the same as with the still images, which is to say that they're on the colder side. So overall, a mediocre camcorder and a so-so camera found with the 8 megapixel shooter of the Prada 3. The LG Prada 3 is a very capable video player. It runs files of up to 1080p resolution, Full HD videos extremely smoothly, and in all kinds of formats like DivX, XVID, H.264. However, in order to play DivX files, you have to first register your handset on the DivX site, which is kind of strange, but still it's a requirement. And once you do that, of course, you'll be able to play all kinds of DivX files. Now let's take a look at the music player. We'll play this song here. It's a very standard affair, this music player. But this is until you turn your handset to landscape mode, where you get this really cool and graphically intensive interface. It's a very, very nice and original way to present your music library. And what's even better is that it runs extremely smoothly. It's completely lag-free. Overall, it's a very good thing that LG has relied on Android for the third Prada phone, because this way we have both a stylish and a highly functional smartphone in our hands. Although it's a bit bigger than normal, the handset still looks very cool with its very rectangular shape and manages to stand out from the Android crowd. That said, we really dislike its plastic casing, which even feels cheap, and we're not really sure that this is very suitable for a product that has the Prada branding written all over it. When we leave the design to the side, we gotta say that we are very happy that LG has employed such powerful hardware with this device. It has a dual-core processor, a very large screen, which makes it a very good alternative to almost every high-end Android smartphone out there right now. Because, as you know, if you don't like this specific look of the interface, you can always install a third-party launcher to alter the looks of the software on your device. But of course, this is only in case that you are very into this specific design. And when it comes to alternatives, we believe that for most of us, a very suitable alternative can be almost every other high-end premium Android smartphone like the HTC Sensation XC or the Samsung Galaxy S2 or the Sony Ericsson Xperia Arc S. But you know that for this other part of the audience there will be only one Prada, and it will be called the LG Prada 3.0. This was Ray with PhoneArena. For more details on this handset and many others, check us out at phonearena.com.